Hello friends, once again I am back with another brand new review for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm really excited about this review. Recently I was privileged enough to go to the 2014 SPBGMA show. I didn't actually attend the award show. Mainly went there to jam and meet some new people and see what the vendors had to offer this year. A couple things that I came back with. For one thing, you might have noticed that these strings here are not the typical bronzy look, and they are actually a nickel-plated string that Martin was giving away. And these are the new Tony Rice signature Monel strings. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that, but I'll just call it Monel. And Monel is a nickel alloy that is known for its incredible lush tone. Though it fell out of popularity due to being a difficult material to machine, Martin says that they are thrilled to have brought it back for their use in the Tony Rice Signature String series. They say that most players tend to describe Monel strings as sounding perfectly broken in right out of the box. So basically it's a nickel-based alloy. I think it's supposed to be more corrosion resistant, and it's just supposed to have more of a warm tone. And I can tell you that they do have a little bit warmer of tone than phosphor bronze, which I typically tend to like. But they're free strings they were handing out, and I decided that I'd like to take them, of course, and as always, do a review for you guys. But that's not what this review is about today. This review is about another vendor that I went to go to, and I found within the SPBGMA vendor booths. And you know how I am a pick fiend. I've got all kinds of picks that I've reviewed, even on the upcoming bluegrass guitar course that's coming out, which by now the website and name of the course should be released. So I'm pleased to tell you that it will be called Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, and you can find more information about that at bluegrassguitaressentials.com. But anyway, so this pick is not featured in that course, obviously, because I recorded the videos before getting this pick. So this is kind of an update to that course. But this pick that I'm going to reveal to you has been very popular on the market, has been very popular among bluegrass guitar players, whether they be a guitar or a mandolin player or just about anything, and even now banjo players have some. And that is the BlueChip Pick. Okay, I hold in my hand a sample of the BlueChip Pick that the owner of the company, Matthew Goins, was gracious enough to send to me and to let me have for this review. And here's a big shout out to Matthew. Thanks so much for letting me try this pick. I'm just going to go on record as saying this is one of the most amazing picks I've ever played. And I will be using this exclusively for many more videos to come. I'm going to put it through its paces, okay? BlueChip is a company that's based out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and they have many varieties. And what's very interesting, you might notice, the first thing, if you're not familiar with this, or maybe even if you are, the name BlueChip would make you think that the pick would be blue or would be available in a variety of colors. But as I went to do some more research on this, the actual website says that they're called BlueChip not because of the name of the material or anything like that, but because of the name of the factory where they actually make these picks. And as a result of the material being the way it is, it will always be this color. They can't really manufacture it in another color. They don't really go into details as to what the material is. I'm not sure if it's a resin or if it's a plastic compound or whatever. I haven't done, the drop test to see what it sounds like. I'm not really big on that. I don't care how it sounds on the floor. I want to see what it sounds like on my guitar. Okay, that's what matters to me. Because for one thing, when you drop a pick, yeah, it might sound different than other picks, but the point is, when you got it between your fingers, that kills a lot of that tone. What's going to happen is the tone that's going to result from the pick on the strings, okay? So don't let a lot of that tone dropping stuff fool you. Pick a pick and see what it sounds like on your guitar, and that's exactly what I've done. Picked out this particular pick. I didn't really want a standard type of pick like my Dunlop here. That's the one that I mainly use, the Dunlop Tortex 1.14, because I wouldn't get the most use out of that. Lately, I've been trying out, well, like this one, for example. This is the text is worn off, but it's the Pro Plec that I mentioned in my course that's coming out. And this is a triangle pick. For one thing, when you run out of, when your pick gets dull and more on one side, you can turn it and bam, you've got a new pick. So you've got 3 picks in one here. In comparison, the BlueChip Pick is very similar. The cool thing about the BlueChip Pick is, though, it's a little smaller, not by much. I mean, it's almost the same exact size if you look at it. It's a little smaller, but the cool thing about it is, you might notice, is that the point of the BlueChip Pick is a little sharper, and I like sharp points, okay? I love sharp pointed picks. Now, as I said, I am a pick fiend. I've got all kinds that you've seen me review, all kinds that I recommend, and I will highly recommend this BlueChip Pick. All right, let's get into some of the details as to why. But before I do, let me show you exactly what this pick is called. It's called the BlueChip TP50. Now, I will tell you that I tried a BlueChip pick before. My mandolin player of one of the groups that I play in, the gospel group named Life's Pathway, the mandolin player had one for a while, and I don't know if he had a lighter gauge or what it was, but I wasn't really thrilled with it. Didn't really like it too much. But I began to fool around this pick and really like the gauge of this. This is more like a 1 millimeter, maybe even a 1.5, something around in there. So it's a nice thickness that I need. It's not flimsy. And the cool thing is, once one side wears out, you turn it and you've got a brand new pick. So I would get 3 times the pick, you know, if I bought one of these on my own, which I'll tell you right now, I will definitely buy some more of these whenever this one wears out. Who knows when that'll happen. This is supposed to be some very hard to wear out material. It's supposed to be very durable. These retail for about $35, and you might ask yourself, why would I spend $35 on one pick when I could get 6 of them for $3 or $4? You know, the ones I recommend. Now, I will tell you, you go ahead and test out, if you're not familiar with the triangle pick and you're starting out with a standard pick, go ahead and buy something like the triangle Ultex or the triangle Deandra Pro Plec. Buy something a little smaller to start with to see if you can get used to that shape. And then I'm telling you, this is why you would buy this pick. For the long time, I had the same question: why would I want to buy a little bit more of a expensive pick? And this is why I began to think. You know, at SPBGMA, there's also another retailer that sells authentic tortoiseshell picks, and he sells them. The last time I remember, he was charging about $90 for the tortoiseshell picks. Okay, so, and they were authentic tortoiseshell. They're not illegally manufactured or anything like that. He uses old antiques and things that are made from tortoiseshell back when it was legal, and that's okay to do that. That's not illegal because it's already been manufactured. So he takes those and makes picks out of them. Well, I tried a tortoiseshell pick, and for one thing, a tortoiseshell pick has to be polished, has to be taken care of. It's an actual material that can wear out and wear away. So that's one of the aggravating things about having to maintain one of those picks. Apparently, it's the king of tone. I know Tony Rice mentions that, and he really likes it for the tone. He continues to use them to this day. A lot of people do. But if you're going to spend $90 for one pick, surely you can spend $35 for a BlueChip pick. If nothing else, to try it. I mean, you can, if you don't like it, you can email Matthew. You can go to his website at www.bluechippick.net. Tell him your concerns. Talk to him about it. I am sure he'd be happy to work something out with you. Okay, but definitely this is a pick worth trying. This is the Triangle TP. Like I said, and I'm not sure what all these abbreviations mean. This is the TP50. And one of the things I want you to know is that, and some people, pick manufacturers do this anyway, but I like the fact that BlueChip picks are already pre-beveled. Now, when you get your BlueChip pick, make sure that you specify whether you need a right hand or a left hand pick. Left hand bevel or right hand bevel. The difference is, if you're playing with your right hand, the bevel naturally occurs on the pick whenever you go down. It occurs on the back side. If you're holding the pick towards you, it occurs on the back side on the left side. That's the bevel, because that's what wears away as you go down. As you come up the strings, the bevel naturally occurs if you're facing the pick towards you, on the right side. So it's on the back on the left and on the front on the right if you're right-handed. And all you have to do really is, if you've been playing with a pick for a while, look at it, and you can tell that it's starting to bevel on both sides, opposite ends, okay? And if you're left-handed, it'll do the same thing, but on the opposite sides. So make sure you specify which one you want to get, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. But the cool thing about a bevel already being in this pick is that you'll notice when you play with picks, when you get them right out of the box. Say for example, I have this the Dunlop Tortex 1.14 pitch black pick. I love the way it sounds. You know, it doesn't sound really nice brand new. It sounds better as it breaks in. So the cool thing about having it already beveled is that you're already going to get this, you're going to get the same sound right out of the box as you would later on down the road, because it's got the sound pre-built into it because it's already got bevels in it. So you're already going to get the tone immediately from the pick that you would, and you don't have to wait for that to happen by wearing it out or by sanding it. I have found that when you sand your picks, it completely changes the tone, and I've stopped doing that. I've just started giving the picks away to other people, or you know, and then that way I could have a fresh tone and start over again. And you wear away picks that way, and the picks are naturally going to wear over time, and you have to buy more. But the point with that is, you know, you have to get rid of a pick and get used to another one. With a BlueChip pick, now I'm going to put this thing through its paces, like I said. I've only had this thing maybe a couple weeks, and you know, when this video releases, it'll be later on down the road. But I've had this pick maybe a couple weeks, and it still looks brand new, guys. I'm not kidding. It still looks brand new. There's a couple scratches on it where it's been hitting the strings. But this is a very, I can tell right now, a very durable substance, whatever it is. And it looks brand new to me on that side. Okay, so it's already broken in, and it doesn't change the sound over time. Now, I was afraid. I've been playing this pick on a pair of elixirs that I've had on here about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And so they were kind of dead. And they had a nice tone to them when I was playing them. And as I went along, I thought, well, this is awesome tone, but what happens when you put a new set of strings on? Because when you put a new set of strings on, then they're bright. They're brand new sounding. Will that make the pick sound bright? Will that be too bright of a sound? And I'll still have to switch to another pick for the first week or two and then switch to the BlueChip. But I realized that once I put these strings on, now these aren't elixirs, these aren't my normal strings. Phosphor bronze is typically tends to be a little brighter than these Monel strings, or even than 80/20 bronze, in my opinion. But it's a perfect tone out of this pick. Now, in comparison, let's go ahead and go through some of the other picks that I use, okay? So we have the BlueChip. Right now, we're going to use the Dunlop. Nice deep tone, not too bright. Okay, the other pick that I use is every now and then an Ultex, just for the brightness. If the strings are dead, I'll have a backup pick to give me a bright tone so that I can have that volume that I need. Because I'm not one of these people that changes my strings every 2 weeks. I like for them to be on there. I don't like doing it. I like them to, you know, mellow out, and then when they're dead, they'll stop staying in tune, and there'll be a lot of wear down here where this pick has been. And you know, I haven't really been waiting until there's rust spots on the strings from the oils, because I wipe them down and they're coated most of the time. The elixirs are. And so I just watch for the wear down here, and I will actually wait until the strings have difficulty tuning. Okay, and if the tone stays amazing, but with elixir strings you can't really go by that, because the tones are supposed to stay amazing. It's supposed to last 3 to 5 times longer. So I look for wear, and I look for tuning stability issues. But already you can see that the Ultex pick, this is a 1.14 as well. It does feel a little thinner than the Dunlop 1.14. It's very, very clicky sounding, very bright compared to the Dunlop. It's a Dunlop and then Ultex. Much brighter. And then we have the D'Andrea Pro Plec, which I love the tone of, but unfortunately it's not bright enough really to, you know, be able to push the volume out that I need it to be. So I use this typically for softer songs like The Legend of Captain John, or for slow songs like Lonely Tonight that doesn't need a lot of projection of volume. Actually, this does sound a little bit lighter in volume. It's a little bit lower. very nice. I love this pick because it's got a nice, very non-abrasive pick tone, and it's just very woody sounding, very nice tone. But unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't have that enough tin in it, enough brightness in it, treble, to be able to hit some nice solos. And the last pick that I've been using in place of an Ultex is the V-Pick. This is another one that's on the market. It's pretty hot. It's called a V-Pick, made of V-resin, whatever that is. It's a clear pick. The thing about this pick that I don't really like, it's got a scratchy sound. You know, it's got kind of a scratchy sound. And the pick noise is just too much. It's just too much for me to stand. You can hear that with every strum. That high-pitched pick strum. I mean, some of you guys may like it, I'm not sure. But compare those sounds that you just heard. I'm just going to play through the main two picks that I like the most. How about that? Let's compare the D'Andrea Pro Plec to the BlueChip. Here's the D'Andrea. The BlueChip. To me, that's a much crisper sounding guitar, but still has a very nice tone to it. And by tone, I mean the deepness of the wood shining through. All right. Now, let's compare the Dunlop 1.14 millimeter to the BlueChip. Has a nice tone, nice, not as deep as the D'Andrea. Not an annoying abrasive pick sound, and it does have enough mids, or not mids, but enough treble in there to get you into a nice solo. Now let's go back to the BlueChip. Once again, your ears can tell the difference more than likely, because the microphone I'm using, this Audio Technica ATR 30 or 335, I think is what it is. Very, very nice lapel mic. And by what I've heard on my bluegrass course, it does in fact pick up the different sounds and timbres of the pick sounds. But the BlueChip pick, it just, I don't know, it's, for one thing, the cool thing about this is it does have that nice tone. It's already broken in. It's got the bevels. It's has enough deepness in it and enough crispness in it. I mean, guys, when I started playing this pick, I thought, well, you know, won't be a big deal. But I could not stop playing my guitar because I wanted to play with this pick, and I just felt like this pick was finally an end to my search for the end-all be-all pick for the time being. That, you know, I'm really bad to have two or three picks just to get a different sound. I need something for when my strings are nice and fresh, and I need something for when my strings die and I haven't had time to change them or something. The cool thing is, with the BlueChip pick, it kind of eliminates the need for that, because when I had my Elixir strings on that were 2 months old or so, this pick brought out the newness to those strings, the sound again, and so it sounded amazing. And on these new strings here that I've got, now once again, it's a different alloy, it's not phosphor bronze, so I expect this pick to be a little brighter on the phosphor bronze. I may be wrong, but right now this does not sound like too bright of a tone on these strings. And I will be doing a review on these strings maybe a couple of weeks down the road or something like that, once I have ahead of time. I had a chance to break them in, see how long they last. They're supposed to last a little longer, be a little less corrosive. So I'll do those later. But we have the brightness, we've got the tone of the pick that sounds amazing. The volume is nice. It's going to be able to project out there whenever I need to get a solo or whatever. And the other cool thing about this pick, now this is kind of the same for not so much the Ultex, but for the D'Andrea. This is kind of a slick surface, all right? And sometimes this one's hard to hold on to. The Dunlop is not. It's got a nice, it's made of, I think, Delrin. So it's non-slick most of the time. So therefore you're having a little bit more resistance on the strings because the material that it's made out of just has a little bit more friction. Whereas this material does not, but it also is kind of hard to hold on to. It kind of shifts in your hand. Even right now I'm having a hard time getting it back to where I can put it back in the holder. But with the BlueChip pick, I have not noticed any, and I mean any, shift in this pick. This material, and it might have something to do as well with just the very light engraving of the name. I don't think it really does, but because you can take your finger here and push on it and feel that it's got enough friction on it that you will not lose this pick, you know. It's not going to slip around or slide around in your hand. Plus, it does have enough smoothness to it that it's gliding off the strings. Minimal effort, maximum volume. Minimal effort, maximum volume. Now that will cause you to have to adjust your playing just a little bit if you're used to playing fast, because this pick will allow you probably to play a little faster because it's going to be to the next string before you know it, before you're, you know, when you're used to having a pick that's a little bit more resistant to slippage, then you have to kind of adjust that. I've noticed even just by the most minute factor, you've got to get used to a pick that is able to just literally fly across the strings, and it's not much of an adjustment. I just love the sound of this pick. Now, one other thing I was going to mention is this pick is awesome, but the strings do play an important role in the tone of your guitar. Do you want a deeper tone like phosphor or 80-20 bronze? Do you want more of a warmer woody tone like these Monel strings? Or do you, like me, want a nice bright tone and then that settles kind of into a warmer tone, woody tone, after the strings have had maybe a week to adjust, like the phosphor bronze? I prefer phosphor bronze. These are very nice strings though, but the strings have an important part to play as well. The pick won't change its tone, but the strings will change their tone over time. So when I get the phosphor bronze put back on, I'll have to do another kind of update to let you know what I think of this pick. But for now, guys, this pick is amazing. Okay, I definitely recommend it. Go check out Matthew's website at www.bluechippick.net. Check it out, and definitely leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you already have a BlueChip pick. Let me know how long you've been using it. I mean, tell me what you've come to expect of the pick and how it's delivered on that expectation, okay? Because I am excited to be using this pick, and the cool thing is it matches the guitar. So if I decide to use this pick from now on, I won't have to have 4 or 5 picks in this pick holder. I can just rely on one, take it out. Well, actually, I will have a couple other picks in here so that other people, when they want to play my guitar, when they grab a pick, they can take one of those out. Because I've heard of people, they'll take their pick, and they're so used to having their pick in their pocket that they'll pocket the BlueChip pick and not realize it. And the next thing the person knows, their pick's gone. Okay, so make sure you always have backup picks for other people to borrow if they want to use your instrument. And even you can always put the BlueChip pick as the second pick so that when they take a pick out, it won't be the BlueChip pick, it'll be something else first. Okay, so that might be a little tip for you. All right, so check them out, bluechippick.net. I highly recommend them. Very nice. It's just like the pick just bounces off the strings of its own accord. I mean, it's just a big difference. Crisp, clear, and so fun and easy to blaze through quick licks with. Thanks guys so much for watching. This has been the BlueChip Pick official review from me, Eric Beatty. Please check out my brand new website and the upcoming course that's going to be available in the coming weeks, bluegrassguitaressentials.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. order one of these babies, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless.